Chapter 7. The Last Story. The official response from the Galactic Survey Authority arrived 43 days after the accident. Captain Tarev read the message twice, then a third time. It was remarkably brief. Priority Directive, Sol System. Observation mission, extended from 20 to 50 standard years. Human civilization, classified as exceptional scientific interest. Direct intervention remains prohibited. No transfer of knowledge is authorized under any circumstances. The captain closed the report. The order was clear. Watch. Record. Do nothing. The Meridian had been sent to study humanity, not to guide it. Officially, the matter was settled. Unofficially, the debate continued. The humans had spent the months following the accident doing what humans did best. Governments argued over funding. Corporations argued over ownership. Scientists argued over theories. Journalists argued over all three. Despite the chaos, research continued. The laboratory had been rebuilt. New experiments had been approved. The anomaly, the tiny distortion of space that had briefly terrified the crew of the Meridian, had become the subject of endless discussion, and the humans had reached the wrong conclusion. Dr. Selin projected their latest papers onto the conference room wall. They believe the effect is a new quantum plasma interaction. Tarev shook his head. It is not. They think it may revolutionize interplanetary propulsion. It will not. Captain Tarev folded his arms. Do they understand what they discovered? Selin sighed. Not even remotely. Vira looked at the equations scrolling across the screen. They have the answer. Tarev nodded. But they are asking the wrong question. Nobody found that reassuring. For the first time since arriving in the solar system, the crew seriously discussed violating the directive. The arguments lasted for days. We could save them decades of research. We could prevent further accidents. We could prevent casualties. We could point them in the right direction. Captain Tarev listened quietly. Then he stood and activated the central display. The room darkened. A timeline appeared. Rocket explosions. Failed laboratories. Discarded theories. Old science fiction novels. Experimental engines. The anomaly. Tarev looked at his crew. Every discovery we admire began with a mistake. Nobody spoke. The captain continued. If we remove the mistakes. He paused. Do we also remove the discovery? The room remained silent, because no one knew the answer. Several weeks later, Tarev noticed something unusual. It was almost midnight aboard the Meridian. The engineer was reviewing sensor logs when an anomaly appeared on his screen. He frowned. The ship's communication array had transmitted several thousand data packets toward Earth. That alone was impossible. The packets originated from a civilian terminal. Tarev followed the signal. The source was Analyst Vira's quarters. He found her sitting alone in the dark. Earth filled the observation window behind her. What are you doing? Vira nearly jumped. Nothing prohibited. Tarev stared at her. That sentence has never reassured anyone. She hesitated, then rotated her screen toward him. Tarev blinked. You created a human account. Technically several. The engineer looked horrified. You realize this violates at least 12 regulations. Only if I reveal classified information. Tarev examined the page. It was a human video channel. Its title was painfully ordinary. Stars Beyond Tomorrow. The videos contained simple animations and short stories. Fiction. Stories about strange geometries, unusual energy fields, hypothetical particles, ships that slip through folds in space. Nothing accurate, nothing dangerous, nothing useful. And yet, Tarev slowly sat down. "You are writing science fiction." Vira nodded. The scandal reached the conference room the next morning. Selin was furious. "You contaminated the experiment." "I did not. You are influencing an entire civilization." Vira activated a display. The names of human writers appeared one by one. Jules Verne, Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, Philip K. Dick. The room fell silent. Vira pointed at the timeline. Humanity dreamed of the stars long before it possessed the technology to reach them. Selin crossed her arms. "That is irrelevant." "Is it?" Vira displayed another timeline. Stories, dreams, theories, prototypes, reality. The same sequence repeated over centuries. "I am not giving them answers." She looked around the room. "I am merely giving them more questions." Tarev studied one of the stories. It was intentionally vague. Half the ideas were wrong. Some contradicted one another. A few bordered on fantasy. The engineer looked up. "You expect scientists to take this seriously?" Vira smiled. "No." She turned toward Earth. "I expect a teenager to watch it at 3 in the morning and decide to become a scientist." No one answered. Because, disturbingly, that sounded exactly like something humans would do. Captain Tarev discovered the channel that evening. He arrived prepared to shut it down. Instead, he watched. The latest story described explorers crossing impossible distances by manipulating the geometry of space. The explanation was scientifically absurd. The imagery was beautiful. When the video ended, Tarev remained silent for a long time. Finally, he asked, "And what do you expect to happen?" Vira did not turn around. "The same thing that always happens." Tarev leaned against the wall. "They will argue about it." Selin sighed. "Then they will build something dangerous." Vira smiled. "And eventually, something will explode." For the first time in weeks, Tarev laughed. A tired laugh, but genuine. And afterward, Vira looked down at the lights of Earth. Afterward, someone smarter than all of us will understand why. Years passed. Humanity continued exactly as before. New laboratories appeared. Old theories disappeared. Governments changed. Corporations merged. Scientists argued. Engineers improvised. Machines exploded. The prediction models aboard the Meridian continued to fail. The estimated date of humanity's first faster-than-light breakthrough fell again. And again. And again. Captain Tarev eventually stopped checking. He no longer cared whether the prediction was correct, because he had finally understood something. Humanity would not reach the stars because it was wiser than other civilizations, or stronger, or more advanced. It would reach the stars because, long before understanding the universe, humans had decided that they belonged among the stars. Decades later, somewhere on Earth, a young engineer sat awake long after midnight. On her screen, an old video played. The channel had vanished years earlier. No one remembered who created it. No one knew where the ideas had come from. But the story remained. The engineer watched the final scene, closed her laptop, and returned to her equations. 40 years later, she would help build the machine that carried humanity beyond the solar system. Neither she nor anyone else would ever know who had written the story. Hidden beyond the moon, the crew of the Meridian watched humanity reach for the stars. And for the first time since arriving in the solar system, they were no longer entirely certain who had been studying whom.